All right, fellas, so check it out. I done went and made an ass of myself, and we're gonna have to clear that up. I want to show you this comment. This is some clever stuff right here. Okay, Dave George, you're in the spotlight again, brother. You are, in fact, the one who sees what is really going on here. I was not 100% correct. You are, in fact, correct. I thought about your comment for a while, and I am stupid not to see this. We are, in fact, getting the amps that I'm saying, but your comment rings so true, I had to stop and do a video on this. So let's talk about it a second. Now, I knew something uncanny was happening with these cells, and that we were able to get thousands of amps of electric current for the electrolysis process with these electrolyzers. Because of the way they work, they act like a chemical transformer. Well, Dave has pointed out that I made a statement to a commenter, okay, that was wrong, but kind of right. He beat me up in the comments a little bit, and my rebuttal was an explanation video that says that if you have 2.6 volts passing from point A to point B in between these plates, and you're running at 10,000 watts, that comes out to 570 some amps of current. Now, I was right in the fact that the total electrochemical process is absorbing that many amps, but it's not from plate to plate. It is, in fact, a series of 40 amp cells in a pile that, if connected in parallel, would give you the 3,200 some amps or whatever we come up with. So Dave, you are a wise brother, man, and I had to point this out because I didn't know what the hell I was talking about 100%. I knew that these cells were giving us, like this guy tried telling me, the one I did the video for, that this cell was only going to give us 40 amps of Faraday electrolysis power, meaning that if you were to count out the electrons, that's how many moles we were going to get. 40 amps is not very many moles of hydrogen at all. So, and the reason that I know this is because I have built single cell units that pull 70 amps that produce nowhere near as much gas as you would think. But anyway, that's here nor there. He is in fact correct. We would be looking at 40 amps per plate gap in a pile. That's what's happening. We're slowly coming to a common sense solution here. Thanks to Dave Co. Right on, brother. I get it. We are, in fact, 3 volts, 40 amp cells placed in parallel. And that gives us the 3,200 amps at 10 kilowatts. So right on, brother. You're a wise man. And I'm kind of an idiot. And now I feel like a jackass for making that video. But you do what you do, I guess. I don't know. I was half right. So now I'm wondering what to do. I think I'm just going to leave the video up and put a comment disclaimer in there, because I was correct in the sense that we were going to be doing 3,000 amps. And I also discussed this test electrolyzer, and we proved that it is in fact 600 amps. Even when you do the chemical kinetic equations and look at and evaluate the amount of gas production, you can see that it's impossible that we're only doing 15 amps of gas production. So I just had to do a quick video on that because that was so neat that I finally figured it out. It was a mystery for me for so long why dry cells produce so much gas versus, you know, your single cell systems, because the reason I say that is I was putting, 20 amps into these cells and getting massive gas production, but yet when I would use a transformer, something like this, a high amp DC unit, I would put 70 to 100 amps into that thing and would get barely a half a liter per minute, barely enough to make a flame this big with a transformer, actually that very transformer. So that's what it was. So then I did the calculation one day where you divide the watts by the volts, and that gives you the amps. Well, it dawned on me I'm doing the equation wrong. I need to do that equation for the plate gap. And it does give you the total amperage, but Dave hit the nail on the head and zeroed in on the concept that in fact we are running 40 amps per plate gap. And that is so neat. I'm going to have to write that down in the lab book, because I've never viewed it from that perspective, when that is exactly what's taking place. It's not 3,000 amps passing from one plate to the next. It's a parallel stack, a bipolar stack of 40 amp cells. So, pretty freaking cool, man. Alright, I'm shutting up. And I'm an idiot.